Hello, my beautiful Aries, and welcome to your full moon reading as we are approaching the full moon. I did just want to mention very quickly, I'm not trying to do a sales pitch here, but my 8-year-old is making candles and I do enjoy these candles, but just to let you know, they're not professional. As you can see, this one has like a little tiny crack in it, but it is in a metal tin, and he does make these with different scents, and he's trying to save up some money for birthday presents and Easter presents. So if you have any interest in those, comment below. I can either add them to my Etsy shop, which is linked in this channel, or we can do a PayPal Venmo situation and ship them to you. If that's something you have any interest in, I promised him I'd mention it on my channel since he knows I use a lot of candles during my readings and so forth, and he loves to make these. They do smell very good. So he actually used my incense oils instead of the ones that came with the candle kit, and he used sugar, cookie, and lemon to make like it almost smells like a lemon pie. It's really good. That one was made for grandma, but I took it. So anyway, but I did promise I would mention that. So if you have any interest in supporting an 8-year-old, let me know. Otherwise, and don't expect super professional, but because I think if you look really, really close, you can see a little crack in it, but it melts together fine. It's in metal, and it actually works really good. We've had several that I've used. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Nobody wants to hear my sales spiel. We are going to do a moon reading here. It's a 7-card circle. We're approaching the full moon, so a lot of people are feeling the pulls and the shifts and the crazy. I don't know if you guys have seen crazy lately. I have seen people, especially driving. I don't know if you guys have seen the driving that's gone on today, but stay home if you can. It's rough. And the road rage is real. And I definitely have to attribute that to the full moon coming, because I mean, it's beyond normal. Let's just put it that way. The first position here is what you're facing, what position you're in. The second position is what got you into this. The third is what's keeping you in it, or similar to a challenge card in typical tarot. The fourth is your optimal outcome should you follow the 5th, 6th, and 7th cards. And if you can't see these, no problem whatsoever. We will go through them one by one, hopefully get you some answers if you're having any questions. So let's go ahead and get started here. And number 1 on the spot here is the 7 card, which is a beautiful number actually, but it's nourishment. And so I think for many of you, your issue right now is you are not taking care of yourself. Bottom line, you are spreading yourself so very thin. You are taking care of probably everyone else but yourself. I'm getting that distinct vibe that you are either spreading yourself too thin by taking care of vast amounts of things like work, children, projects, family. Maybe you have for some reason I'm getting in my head that you have maybe elderly parents that are having issues that you're having to help with, or family members that are elderly, something like that I'm getting right now. But anyway, I feel like you are it's an extra layer on top of what your normal heavy duty work life balance is like, okay? And I feel like it's just left you so depleted that nourishment is non-existent for you. Like, I just feel like as far as like doing something for yourself just for fun, I mean, almost as much as even just like having a night to watch a movie at home and maybe have a nice cup of hot chocolate or a glass of wine or take a nice bath or something is like too much to ask for you right now. And I just feel like this is just killing you, right? I feel like you are feeling like you're battle tired and tested. And I do feel like this is something that is probably gone on for a while, but it's escalated right now. For some reason, I am just absolutely getting that you are escalated. Something has hit that, I don't know if there's an illness. I don't know if a new sport for your kids just started up, or new project at work or something, but something is more than normal, right? And it's really taking its toll. Illness in your family, something, okay? But whatever it is, I think gratitude, okay, is what has gotten you to this. And you're thinking like, how in the crap does being grateful get me into this situation? Well, I think the thing here is that because you are a kind and grateful person, because you are a person who constantly wants to show people how much you appreciate them, people can often take your kindness for granted, okay? I don't want to say kindness for weakness, that too occasionally, but in this particular case, I don't think that's it. I think they're taking your kindness for granted though, as though they're not really thinking that they're using you. They're not really thinking about it that way, right? So kids don't think about it that way when they're asking you to run them on 85 errands. Your spouse may not be thinking about it like, oh, you're really getting beat down from all sides when they're expecting you to do everything in the household and then some, or your significant other. Your family members may be like, we don't want to put this burden on you, but at the same time, you're a person who you wouldn't have it any other way, because you would feel awful if you weren't showing them the gratitude for all the things that they've done for you over your life. That's just who you are. You're a caregiver. You're somebody who wants to help. You want to take care of everybody and everything. And because you've set that kind of exemplary example throughout your life, everybody comes to you. So I don't care if it's like your church has like, oh, well, I know who we can go to. We can go to Aries, right? We can grab them up and say, hey, they'll pick up the slack on the, whatever, fish fry committee, the, whatever it may be, whatever you've got going on. And, it may not even be, it may be unbeknownst to them that you have 27,000 other things on your plate. They don't ask, you know what I'm saying? It's not something that people think about. They just know you'll pick up the ball and roll with it. And you aren't a person to usually say no. And it's because you are so grateful for all the things people do for you and have done for you in the past. So you feel really bad about saying no. You want to help, but by not saying no, you get yourself in this position where you're like, holy cow, what do I do? I am absolutely gutted over here. I need some respite for real, right? So, what's keeping you in this is surrender. And surrender in this particular deck is like surrendering to the universe and what it's telling you to do, and its needs and its pull and its draw. And right now you are just feeling like, I have to just do what I need to do. I have to do everything I can. Okay. Eventually there'll be a light at the end of the tunnel. Eventually this will slow down. Eventually. And that's kind of the mindset you have. So you're just really trying to push yourself to your limits. But what you're not thinking is kind of that old airplane, kind of referral that I always think of, which is like, put your own oxygen mask on first before you help anyone else. Because if you go down, if you pass out, if you whatever, you can't help anybody, right? And you're just not taking care of yourself, right? And so, but I think right now you're just kind of like, I just got to give in and try to do everything I can. I just got to do what I can do and try to make it through for right now. There'll be a time, summer's coming soon if it's the kids pushing through with all the school stuff and the sports stuff, and and this project at work will be done soon if it's that, and and hopefully the parents or the family members or whomever will be on the mend soon, or you're just got that go-getter attitude because you're you're an Aries and you're not going to give up, right? I'm an Aries and I'm like that. I'm like, I will not be defeated. I don't know why, but that's who we are. We will not be defeated. It's like almost a competition too. But at the same time, it's killing us, right? We're competing with ourselves. We can do it, but we're also killing ourselves. So, I feel that, and but your optimal outcome is protection. And this is putting yourself in protective mode, right? It's like fight or flight mode, right? It's kind of like a point where you have to say, I need a moment, right? If I don't take some time for myself, I'm going to be the next one that needs somebody to take care of me, right? And I don't want to get to that point. I don't want to be that person, because then I'm the burden. And then I'm going to be right back here where I feel like I have to take care of other people more because people are taking care of me again. And I don't want to do that, right? So this is your optimal outcome, is to really kind of be able to get back to a place where you kind of feel like, okay, I have enough of myself left to protect myself, while also helping others and functioning and being normal, right? And that's going to be your outcome, okay? That's your optimal outcome. But how do you get there, right? Because right now you are beat. I mean, everything in this is telling me that you are just, not just beat, but you're beat and then some, right? Well, the first thing is realization. You have to realize what's happening, that you are not just up against your normal status quo pile of, tasks and daily, stuff that you take on, which is usually more than a normal person does anyway. That's what you do. You take on more than what normal people do anyway, but this is extra, okay? The realization here, and this is almost kind of a two-sided coin with this card, because the realization is that on the other side, yes, there is light at the end of the tunnel, okay? So it is okay to realize that in some extent, but realize it in a way that is, there's light at the end of the tunnel, but only if I make it so, okay? Only if I allow myself to get to the other side. If I keep pushing this hard, this could affect my health, right? I mean, you can only push so hard for so long before you burn out, mental breakdowns, stress and anxiety get to you. Nobody wants to have a stress-related stroke because they are literally not getting enough sleep. They're not getting enough rest. They're so mentally drained. This is not what you want, right? What you need to have is a realization that, this has to be a balance. On each side of this coin, there's a balance there, right? Balance is about, you already, as a normal person, take on probably more than you should. But now you've been added some extra stuff. I just absolutely see that. I don't know what it is. I can't speak to that. You know what it is. But this is definitely above and beyond your normal, okay? You've chosen maybe to take on something. Maybe you've chosen, I'm going to start a new business. I'm going to try something new. I want to do a few extra things. I can do this. And you've put yourself in this position. Or maybe, like I said, for some of you, I'm just getting the vibe that there is a family member or something that's needing extra attention right now. A pet, maybe even. I don't know. But it's just really, it's not a good situation. So it's also kind of an emotional thing, I feel like, for you. That's draining you as well. So it's kind of double whammy. That's just the vibe I'm getting. So, and that may resonate with some of you and may not with others, but for sure. But I think you have to make that realization that yes, there is beautiful things on the other side, truly, but you have to get there first. You have to make it there. So you've got to take some time, right? Peace, okay? You have to find your peace. Now, again, I understand you are burning the candle at both ends. But peace can come in many ways, okay? Peace can come in small increments. And every little small increment, a single step, the longest journey in the world can start with a single step, right? So peace can come in small increments, right? Start small, right? If you can only find 10 minutes to, listen to a meditation app or something that you enjoy. If you can only find 10 minutes to, watch a video on YouTube or something that you just find silly and funny. There's an old Irish proverb that I've always really enjoyed that's like a really good laugh and a nice nap can solve anything kind of thing. And I'm really messing that quote up, but that's the gist. And, if that's something that you can find, anything that you really enjoy, I don't care if it's just taking 10 minutes to drink your favorite beverage, a nice iced mochaccino, whatever it is, right? A nice glass of wine in silence in your bedroom for 15 minutes. Sometimes that's all the peace we can get. Take it, okay? You need that. Everybody needs that moment of solace to think, to be calm. Okay, we need that to recenter, to breathe, to focus, right? And that's so, so important. But, also part of this piece is about, finding the people who bring you peace and allowing them to understand where you are. That's a big component here because, like I said, kids, significant others, family members, friends, people who know you they are so used to you automatically picking up the ball and just rolling with it because it's who you are. They don't necessarily know when you're having a moment, when you're overwhelmed, when you are taking it, to an extreme, when your candle is just absolutely burning at both ends. And they wouldn't want you to not have peace, right? So, this is when you can delegate. This is when you can go to your best friend, or if you have an older child that you can count on and say, look, you know what, best friend, significant other, older child, partner in crime at all my charity functions or church functions or work buddy. Now is the one and only time I may ever ask, ever. You know me. I'm usually the one who's picking up everybody else's job and doing it, because if you can't do it yourself, if you want something right, you better do it yourself. That's Aries. But now I would just really appreciate if we could kind of delegate some of these things, the less important ones maybe. I want to keep the ones that bring me the most peace, the ones that are with my small children, with my loved ones who may be ill and need me the most right now that I don't have as much time with, certain things, the ones that bring me the most peace to spend my time with. But the other ones, right, maybe delegate those. No one's going to be bothered by that. They're used to the fact that you've probably done 1,000,000 times that for them. Trust me, okay? And that's what's going to lead to your path here, because part of your path is rethinking the way you've lived your life so far in regards to handling everything. You've set a precedence and you've set a bar that is so high that people are so used to you doing that they automatically just assume you will. And hey, let's be realistic here. As we get older and as we move forward, we just can't do the same things we could when we were younger. I mean, I can't do the same things with my 12 and 8-year-old now that I could do when my 12-year-old was 5. And it's just been a few years. I'm like, okay, mom can't do cartwheels every time you make a goal at your soccer game now. I'm old, and that's just a couple years, right? So think 10 years down the road, 12 years down the road, 15 years down the road. Are you going to be able to keep up the paces that you're keeping up? Do you even want to? No, probably not, right? So this is where you need to start creating a clear path of, I need to start learning to trust people, to delegate. I need to start learning when to say no to the things that aren't as important, prioritizing the people who bring me peace, the people on the other side of this, the realization of those that are the most important to move forward with, the ones that are going to be with me forever, right? Not the ones at this job that I may retire from in 5 years or 6 years, or they could lay me off tomorrow, right? But my kids, they'll be with me for life, right? My significant other could be with me for life, those kinds of things. This is where you start to create that path of who is the most important. Who do I really want to pour my resources? Because your energy is your resource. Your energy is your commodity. That is your strongest resource. And that's what you have to decide. This is when you start putting that plan into place. And when you do that, this is when your protective mode comes in, right? Because this is when you start prioritizing and protecting those that are most important to you, including yourself, right? Because you want to be around to see that. You want to be around to take care of those that are most important to you. You want to be around to see those people. You don't want to be, croaked out in the corner because you're so exhausted and mentally tired that you can't even function when it's time for, the kids to get married, the grandkids to come along, whatever, right? And, this is all part of learning and growing and living your life, right? And I think as we enter this new cycle, as Pluto's coming into Aquarius and we're changing from that 15-year cycle to a 21-year cycle, we really need to start thinking about what is it where our priorities should lie, right? And I think that's huge for you. And I think you are making your way through that. And I think this is brilliant for you. And I think it will end in a much more peaceful life for you, a much less run ragged life, a much less stressed out life, a much more peaceful, protected life with the people who matter the most. And I think this is a really good trajectory that you're on, to be honest with you. But right in the current present moment, you are beat down. And for that, you really do need to kind of maybe start delegating. So hopefully this resonated with you. If it did, please do like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. I would love to have you back for other readings. I will be putting up the rest of the Celtic spirit readings for each sign. So if you're a cross watcher or you have other signs in your chart, certainly check those out as well. But I did want to get the moon readings up as we're approaching the full moon before it's gone away. So glad to see you. Bye.